CMO Guru Team. I'm so excited to meet you. We are the answers and speed to solutions that our CEOs are looking for. We provide experience over 16 years with multiple verticals that help our companies grow and thrive in their industry. We help them devise strategies in their business marketing, business development, sales and marketing, provide them training, help them evaluate their digital marketing status amongst all of their competition. So to do this, schedule a time for us to sit down and review your current business. We want to do an evaluation of where your current business is and strategize on what the next steps are to help you not only grow, but thrive in your business.
Thanks, Haley, for sharing that. Hopefully the volume is a little bit better. We have it on our website, so that will help. Thanks so much for doing that, Haley. Everyone, how awesome is it to be here on the third day of our summit with Haley and her team? And I can only imagine how many of you are pumped up and energized for the third day of more education and training. Okay, great, Kathy. I'm so happy you can hear us now. Thanks. You know, audio is always one of those things that you just have to kind of figure out as you go along. Well, this is a great chance for us to meet each one of you, and we've been here all 3 days, and it's been a great experience. Thanks so much, Haley, to your team for doing this, and we are here to share what we do at the CMO Guru Team. What's amazing about what we get to do is we actually get to work with CEOs, business owners, startups, and we get to deep dive with them into their business and hit their goals with strategies. How many of us get in the car and we just kind of expect to get in the car and get there? You know, we need to get there with a plan. We need to turn on our GPS. We need to be able to do that without worrying that we're going to get there. And I think that's what's happened during these last 3 days is we have a plan now. We are here to enjoy and learn so much from each other and build each other up. This is our website that we are using for our strategy sessions that we are offering to everyone here. We're also going to be giving the worksheet that we are going to be teaching from today on here as well. So just send over your email. These are some of the companies and brands that we worked with over the last 22 years. It's been so fun to work with franchises, tech companies, startups, different networks. A lot of change has happened in the business landscape in the last 22 years. The introduction of social media, the introduction of digital marketing. And so we've been able to literally ride the wave of entrepreneurship. Now, I have to really come from a place of vulnerability when I tell you it has been not only it has been really fascinating to me to see how the female entrepreneur has risen to this call to be an entrepreneur. And I really believe that we're actually built for entrepreneurship because we do so many things and we want to do so many things well that when we decide to become an entrepreneur, it actually is part of our DNA. It's who we are. It's actually how we're built. And if you look at our lives, we juggle so many different things from our personal life to our family, to our spouses, to our business. And so I am so excited to be on this journey with so many like-minded, powerful women. One of the things that we do to help our clients hit 6 figures is we work with a formula. And this literally is our secret sauce at the CMO Guru. This has been proven over time, over different verticals, over the years. It has stayed true to what has worked for our clients, my own business, as well as startups in any phase of entrepreneurship. This has worked time and time again. We call this the 6 figures money making formula. Now, where you are right now, I'm going to ask you in the chat to list where you are as you hear my description of each phase. The first phase in the money making formula is the pivot. How many of us are transitioning from being corporate America, from a job, into becoming an entrepreneur? A lot of us make that decision because we are in a place that we are trying to decide, I want more in life. I want more time freedom. I want to be able to make my own decisions. I want to work for myself because I have a family and I have goals. The pivot happens in every single phase of entrepreneurship. And how many of us are right now in that space? And I welcome you to be vulnerable with all of us, because the pivot is really where we make the decisions that help us guide us in our next steps. The next phase of the formula is where we start up. Now, startup is being tossed around maybe the last 5 years is kind of this trendy word, and it really captures where all of us are. Startup happens in any part of our business, whether we're launching a new product or a service, whether we're deciding to become an author or a coach. We actually start up again in that process. And in six figures, for anyone to do that, you're going to go through each of these phases multiple times. And successful women, I know that a lot of you know that this is the hardest part of the process, is just the start. So startup, what does that look like? This is where you're probably not making, the 6 figures you want. You're not hitting your revenue goals, but guess what? You are so driven with passion. So how many of you are in the startup phase right now, where you're giving a lot of freebies, you're, asking friends and family to give you reviews, and you're just kind of hoping, one day your passion is going to turn into revenue? I remember this phase so many times, not only for myself, but for my clients, and we love this phase. It is where passion meets grit and hard work. And if you know anything about startup phase, it is all about how much work you want to do to get to your goals. So during the startup phase, this is where you are building, right? You'll come to this summit and you're learning and you're excited to learn so many different things. Sometimes this is the shiny object syndrome, right? And a lot of times it's really hard because you want to do so many things. And in the startup phase, you learn really quickly that you can trade your time for a lot more in life, but you realize as you pivot and make these decisions, you're kind of feeling stuck. So on your way to 6 figures, you're going to go through some of these emotions. It's like a wave, right? It goes up and down. It could be crashing. It could be powerful. It could be strong. And that's the reason why our logo for CMO Guru is the wave, because in business, you're going through waves. You're going through this calmness before the storm. You're going to go through this impact where you're powerful and you're strong. And there's going to be moments where you're just still and you're calm. So I want to invite you, as you're looking at your startup phase, if you are in that phase, I want to help you and understand that that is normal, that you have permission to be in that phase, because that's normal in business. So the next step of this formula is leveling up. This is when you are actually making the money, you're actually having sales, you're actually realizing that, wow, people want your product. But guess what? You also are experiencing the overwhelming feeling of, I'm doing too many things. I'm spending too much time on things that I probably am not really great at. You're realizing that clients, even though you made a sale, how many of you made the wrong sale? And that happens a lot of times when we make the wrong sale, but we still got a sale. And so you realize in this level up phase that you're making money, but you're just struggling. You're in this place where you feel overwhelmed. Now, how many of you powerful women are in this level up phase where you're making the money, right? You're hitting your financial goals. You're finally making, $5,000 to $10,000. You're closing clients at a higher price point, but you make the sale, but it's the wrong sale. You realize you need more help. You realize you can't do the marketing and the sales. You can't do the author and the content writing. It really is, right, Monica? This level up phase is kind of this, man, how did I get here? What am I doing? So I want you to know how important this is, because you're going to make a pivot. And I use this word not only because it's the word everyone's recognizing now, but mentally and emotionally and physically, you're going to make a pivot, because you either want to maintain this level up part of the formula, or you're going to decide that you want to scale and grow. Now, what's the difference between the level up and scale and grow? Let me tell you. Scaling and growing means that you are really focusing on being in your genius zone. In the scale and grow phase, this is where you finally create the stop doing list. This is where you realize what you are really doing great for your clients, and you stop all the other parts of it because you realize that you want to be great at it. You want to master this. And so in the scale and grow phase, how many of you guys are here where you have team members, you have content writers, you have videographers? I love to say this again. Scale and grow is also going to go through the pivot, the startup phase, the level up phase. Even in this phase, you are still going to go through those emotional waves, those physical, mental waves. Now, Haley, you know what's amazing about you is that you really walk the talk. You do what you say to everyone with getting a team together, having a community, having an ecosystem. And so when you're in this scale and grow phase, look at your peers, look at other people around you. They have learned from the school of hard knocks what not to do. They have learned, and they've been willing to learn what to stop doing. They've asked better questions. They're realizing their networking needs to be in their target market. They need to be focusing on their relationships. They finally realize they don't have to be a master of everything. They have to be in their genius zone for the one thing they do really well, and for the rest of it, they hire a team. Now, how many of you are in this scale and grow phase, or you're almost there? And at this phase, you're hitting maybe six figures. You're able to, have retainers with your clients. Maybe some of you are in product sales and you have an automated system that does all your fulfillment, your shipping, and your packing. You're not doing it in your basement anymore. We work with clients at all levels. One of our clients just yesterday called me up, and we were able to help him with getting a Stein Eriksen Lodge deal, where that will be a $250,000 contract. And it was literally forcing him to scale and grow his business, bringing on another chef, bringing on an operations, bringing on someone to do the marketing, where he could focus on the one thing that he was great at, which was building relationships. And so he called me yesterday in excitement and said, Charlene, I've got to figure out some more team members to bring on. I said, and you're ready to do that. So as you look at these four parts of this formula, I want you to realize three things. One, identify where you are, because in that part of the formula, you're going to realize what you need to keep doing, what you need to stop doing, and who and what you need to work with, and who will be that mentor for you as you do that. As a chief marketing officer, we come into companies to help their teams. We help startups, we help individuals focus in and get clarity. Now, some of you might be in the phase where you're in the startup and you're trying to do everything yourself and you're trying to figure it out, and maybe you're taking all the freebies. And that's soon going to evolve into where you're going to realize that in order to make six figures, you've got to start with the end in mind. I own several companies. I have been on multiple stages. I've helped multiple business owners. And one of the things that is a common ingredient for people who are hitting six figures is that they are in the scale and growth, that they're bringing on team members. They're realizing they need to automate their workbooks. They need to automate their education, their trainings, and that they're creating platforms for it. Now, I know this is really going to surprise some of you, but once again, your stop doing list is really critical in hitting your six figures. You need to bring on a brand manager. You need to bring on someone who understands content writing. Maybe some of you are struggling with the fact that you want to not let this go because this is your baby. You've spent all this time and money, and who can do your marketing better than you? Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes it's having someone who's not married to your everyday operations and problems to actually look at it from an unbiased view. How many of us are willing to do that though? How many of us are willing to let someone else help us see things and see the holes in our business? Sometimes that's really hard. And for a lot of us, depending on what phase you're in, that's that moment where you have to drop your guard. You have to become vulnerable. You have to become authentic to let it out. Jess, I understand. How do you know what you need to hire, and how do I figure that out? A lot of times when that question comes up, a client of ours who's, making 300 million right now, his biggest problem is hiring the right sales team and bringing that. And so what we had to do with him was actually look at his sales process in order to hire the right people and do his marketing around that. because his message and his vision and what he was wanting in this next pivot of his company wasn't lining up. And so we had to literally take a step back, help him see that he could do so much more if he would just have a focus and focus on what he does not do well on, what he doesn't, succeed at, what he's passionate about. And so Coach Jess, I love that question. Figure out what you do really well and hire the rest. And now, of course, you want to, gauge that. And a lot of you right now on this, webinar, one of the biggest things that's so valuable is that in your business, you're going to hit different stages and you're going to need different people at different times in your business. And that's how you continually evolve. One of the things that we do really well is we have, subcontractors, we have, 1099s, we have virtual teams. I have a physical team here in my office as well. And all of these teams we manage by project management. We have communication. We use different tools so that our team is on the same page. And so that's really valuable. Now, one of the things I always hope for when I get to teach and I get to share my passion, making six figures is already inside of you. Ladies, this is already who you are. Whatever dollar amount you want, you have full permission to get. But I don't want the value of that dollar to dictate your worth. And I think that's the biggest pivot that happens for a lot of us women, because we naturally want to serve, we naturally want to help, we naturally want to give. But we have to live in that abundance where giving and receiving are part of the same formula that literally allows us to grow our business to six figures and beyond. That abundance of giving and receiving is key. And so when you live your business, you're doing your business, you're managing, you're strategizing, we want you to know that that's part of what makes it successful. So as I wrap up and hopefully giving you some value today and looking at your businesses, I want you to know six figures, if you work the equation backwards, and this is a golden nugget, and I'll leave with this. To make $100,000, you can sell a $100 product 1,000 times, or you can sell one product for $100,000. Evaluate your business, look at where exactly you are. Are you startup, level up? Are you in the phase of scale and grow? And making these pivots, use that simple equation to decide on what you're going to do and where you're going to work that opportunity in your process. So we have an offer today. Go ahead and schedule on our website there a free 15-minute strategy session. Love to deep dive with you, evaluate where you are. We work with clients and really help them and force them to look at their business in a way that allows them to take control immediately to make better decisions. We have a package for each of you, whether the phase is in startup or if you're in scale and grow and you need us to deep dive into your business and really help you execute. We've got 50% off our packages during this summit. Just for all of Haley's attendees, because we appreciate what she does and we honor her in that. And here's our link again in the chat. So go ahead and do that. Please, if you have any questions and you want to know more, please give us your email so that we can go ahead and give you this worksheet. So you can look at your business, obviously today or tomorrow and have a chance to look at where you are. Because it's going to make more sense while you participate in this summit. If you know where you are, then you know what you're going to need more of. We appreciate this time. Hopefully there's some time for some questions. If I can help anyone, any questions, any clarification, I'd love to do that. Oh, Anna, thanks so much for being a part of it. I honor that you're here with us. And I know that one of the things that really happens for a lot of us is, we hear the same thing over and over, and the day that we take action is the day we make a difference in our business. I appreciate you being here, Anna. Thanks so much.